What's up, everybody? My video today is I'm going to show you how to take a 1956 Chevy two-door hardtop and turn it into a 1956 Chevy two-door convertible. Now this applies to 55 Chevy or 57 Chevy, but really the easiest way if you're trying to build a convertible is to start with a two-door hardtop. And I know you whack the top off, you got a convertible. Kind of, but not really, because you want it to. If you're building a convertible, you want it to be a convertible. You want it to have the top that goes up and down. You want it to look like a convertible, because these cars, I mean, everything you buy for them is really expensive. So you want to make sure that that you get your money's worth when you do decide it's time for it to move on. Now, if you're building a convertible, you have to know that it's a conversion and it'll never be worth what a real, true GM built convertible will be worth. You could probably get pretty close. You know, I've heard stories of people that sold 57 convertibles that was conversion cars for, you know, 65,000, but they was real nice cars, but you got to find the right buyer for that car, you know. So what I did was I had a really rough 56 Belair convertible and there was no saving it. So a friend of mine had a 56 two-door hardtop, and don't get mad at me, I didn't cut the top of the car off. He had a 56 two-door hardtop that somebody had already, you know, scavenged the roof off of for another car. So it was almost like a perfect fit. And I went through all the time to cut everything that you need to cut out to make it appear to be a true original convertible. And since then, I've already made a deal with the guy on this car, and it's been sold. And I think what he's going to do is buy a real deal steel body, because he told me he wants to, when it's done, he wants to try to get the good money out of it. So I've got half the money on the car, still waiting on the other half any day. So his plans are to just buy a real deal steel and build a true 56 Chevy Belair convertible. So I just wanted to take this video to be able to show you, because there's an awful lot that's different on a true convertible versus even a hardtop. Out of all the body styles, the hardtop is by far the closest. Like your doors, even your front windshield, the glass itself, they'll interchange. But you need the top hoop, obviously, the windshield post, and you need all surrounding trim around that and brackets. But where it really gets to be very, very different from even a two-door hardtop is from the doors back to your wheel wells. All the inner structure is specific to a two-door convertible. Even the door jambs are slightly different for a two-door convertible. And then your wheel wells on the back, they're different. If you've ever seen a true convertible, the wheel wells are flat on the top. And obviously that gives you room for your convertible top to fold down into. Two-door hardtop, they don't have the flat wheel wells on the top. So them are different. Your back seat brace is different. There's a couple additional braces in the trunk on each side, right by the wheel wells. But they sell them braces that you could weld right in. If you had a solid trunk, you could weld them right in. But the hardest part to doing a true conversion, and this would apply to any car, is going to be the rear tub area. And what I did with this one, I cut the tub out of the rusty convertible, and I kept trimming on this car until I could physically pull the quarter panels apart a little bit and stuff that whole convertible tub in there. That way you know everything's where it started life. It's all right. It was built by GM. So let's take a look, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But it's a big job, but if you get it right and you pull it off, you could build a Tri-5 convertible really for a lot cheaper than you could probably buy one. But you wouldn't be able to build this car into a show car for the price you could buy a restored car for. So let's take a look at it. You can see this has got all the convertible parts on it, and you can see this car's not welded together. It's just sitting here. But you can see right there is where I cut the windshield post, and that'll go down where it's supposed to. It's just the roof is latched and it's pulling that up right now. So that'll go down where it's supposed to. And it's got the convertible specific. I put the windshield post in it. This stuff right here, believe it or not, was on the car. And so was this too. Them are two-door hardtop things. They don't really matter. But you can see it's got the convertible rear windows in it. And it's got all the right stuff. You see it's got the windshield mechanism in it. It's got the window track, the window or the pivots for your convertible top. It's even got the convertible garnish molding. But you can see there's that is totally different from a two-door hardtop. And believe me, because I had to cut and cut and cut for days to get that out of there. And then you can see it's got all the top latch and everything. So you definitely gotta put your windshield post in there. And you can see on this one where I cut the quarter right through there. It's got the whole entire convertible door jamb in it, the whole tub. And this is a convertible specific piece. And you can see this is the other tub I put in here. I just basically sat it right on top of the quarter panel. And back here, a two-door hardtop, that back seat brace is different. It's actually way different. And you can actually see some of the spot welds I drilled out on both cars. Fisher Body was so good that some of the spot welds even lined up from the original two-door hardtop bracket. That's the convertible bracket. And you can see the small convertible back seat. It's got a minor little tweak in it right there. And the tub needs some rust repair. But you can see the flat wheel wells. And then even once again, I cut the tops. I cut right at that body line on the hardtop ones and sat the convertible tub right on top of that. And this right here, this is all the convertible. The trunk opens and closes. Everything's where it needs to be, but where I did it down here, there's no electric, so I was always gonna take it and weld it up the rest of the way. But it didn't work out. The other person that I know, he wanted it, so I didn't really get what I was wanting out of it. But you know, what can you do? I kind of get to move on with my life. And you can see that ratchet strap in there. It's just kind of holding everything in position. But I mean, if you think about it, this whole area is out of a convertible. That whole entire area, and it'll sit right down on the floor just like it's supposed to. So this is if you can find a good convertible that has all the stuff. This is the best way to do it, because if you just do the metal work and you do a good quality job, I mean, unless somebody's really looking at these cars, they'll never be able to tell that this car was not a true built convertible. Because I mean, the tub, I just sat it right on top of the quarter panels. You can see I was gonna graft this into the original quarters. Hardtop quarter panels are exactly the same as a convertible. So everything lined up real good. And even up in there, you could see some of it. It's got all the latches and everything. I had real big high hopes for this car. And you can see it was a pretty clean cut. But yeah, I had real high hopes for this car. But I've got a lot of other cars right now. So when the person was telling me that they was interested in it and things like that, I'm like, okay. Because believe me, to do something, to pull off a conversion like this, anybody that's done it, they know exactly what I mean. You'll drill spot welds out, seems like forever. And then this car still needs some final fit and trimming before it's all tacked together. But the convertible top goes up and down, the doors open and close, the windows, everything operates just like it should if it was a true factory built convertible. And I was just making the best out of two bad situations, because the convertible that I used as a donor, it was a 56 Chevy. I mean, the body was so rough, you know, its rust had rust, you know. So when I seen this, where they had already chopped the top off of it, they was trying to part this car out. And it's actually not a bad car. The trunk's good, the floors are good. The front floor needs a little bit of work, maybe a couple of the body mounts. The quarter panels need a little bit of work in front of the rear tires. But it's an original 56 two-door Belair that has been built into a 56 two-door Belair convertible. Because I was just gonna weld it up and I was gonna cruise this thing. There's for whatever reason, 56 is one of the hardest years to find a convertible or a Nomad in, and I don't really know why. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that love the 55 and a lot of people that love the 57, but where's all the love for the 56? I really like them, but you'd be surprised the amount of people I've talked to, they kind of either go 55 or 57. And 56 is one of my favorites. That's why with what I had to work with, I was like, you know what? I'll build my own 56 two-door convertible. So tell me what you guys think. This is just a video on what it takes to do a conversion. You could use your firewall, you can use your doors, but you absolutely need the top windshield post, and you definitely want to get that convertible tub if at all possible, because this has got all the right stuff, you know. None of that stuff is the same as any other model other than a two-door convertible. And the way I did it, I mean, you could see the white part. That's the original convertible on top of the hardtop quarter panels. I mean, it slipped. It was a little bit, you had to pry the quarter panels apart, but I mean, it slipped right in there. I mean, for crying out loud, look how good that window fits the convertible top frame. I mean, everything lines up real good. So there's your video on a two-door hardtop to a two-door convertible. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next video.